Welcome to another.
There we go.
Welcome to another rando race.
Good. I thought for a second everything was just not working on my end. Good
Nope,
to see that
you're
it's
good.
okay. All right. At least we're fine. That's the main thing.
Yep. Professional stream starters right here.
No, I'm just a bit slow on the update this time. I apologize.
Look, even the uncle is saying hi.
Well, that's always a good start, you know?
Oh,
You know what else is a
wow.
good start? Not being able to see Link's face from the very beginning. That's always a fun start, right?
Mirror shield right off the bat. Ooh, looks like Tower of Hera's got green pendant and crystal at Eastern Palace and Desert.
Always an interesting one to see that. Right. Apologize to chat, I have not actually got it open at the moment because I've only just gone off my own thing, so I cannot see what amazing words you have for me here. I'm sorry. We will get to that in a minute.
So he's picked up, both players picking up the sword. I'm super excited about this. This will be an interesting match. With Christos having one win, Mike the V needs to win this, otherwise he will be out of the tournament. So
yeah, and there's an item you don't see used very often, the magical boomerang, and Chris already putting it to good use there, getting rid of the guard so he can get in a bit quicker. I love how you just see them enter at the same time and then they just go in opposite directions here at the beginning. It's fantastic.
So I wonder if either of them will be farming. It looks like Christos is going to be farming a couple of the green guards on the way.
Yeah, you can see, well, Mike didn't kill any guards, so you can see the routes are pretty much the same, but it's always just amusing seeing the opposite directions here.
Ooh, the double key.
As Kenny's just said in the chat, it's the same distance, it looks cool because you go the other way for once, you know?
Alright, so any guesses on what's going to be in Zelda's dungeon?
I mean, you would always love that it's a mirror. I like how Chris used the boomerang there just in case the guard at the bottom dropped anything, because you couldn't see what it dropped. If anything, this time it was nothing, but if there was something there, like bombs, his boomerang would have picked it up, so... Yeah, unconventional items again at the beginning, the magical boomerang, rather than just a regular one. The distance on the regular one wouldn't actually pick up an item there, so unconventional item, and that's how, you make good use of it. It's excellent.
So we'll get to see, looks like Mike is gonna use the sword strats, and so is Christos.
Yeah, these guys have no problem with that.
Ooh, okay. Looks like Zelda's love dungeon here.
So that's why they locked her up, okay.
So it looks like now they'll both be heading out of Escape. Through the Sanctuary.
Just all the loots in the chat. Yep. So okay guys, it can only get better from here, right?
Alright. So they're gonna be... Neither of these guys have found bombs. I don't think that they're gonna kill the green guards on the way. They're probably gonna wait until they get into the sewers here, because it's the easiest place to farm is those rats, so...
Yeah, there's a lot of them, and, well, the snake's there as well. I actually am not entirely sure what prize packs they're in, because this being version 18, the enemies are not in random prize packs, but I don't know whether the rats and the snakes are connected to each other that way, so...
Rats, I believe, are connected to the green guards.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
If I'm not mistaken, but I believe that's how it was before.
That rat really wanted to get him. Just running its hardest to get to him there. Yeah.
Some blue rupees so far. Lots of blue rupees. but no bomb.
Oh, there we go.
There we go. Mike getting his first bombs.
Chris needs to kill another snake by the looks of it if he's gonna get the... No? Okay. So that's interesting. We'll probably see... Yes, Chris will kill that one. And well, there's not that many more opportunities for it. I mean, there are quite a few rats, but at the same time, they do tend to get away from you pretty easily, so... I don't know. Magical Boomerang being a little bit too quick for Chris there. He's used to the regular boomerang speed for that sort of stuff, because you do that in NMG, but... Oh,
there's those bombs. There's those bombs.
Oh, there we go!
Oh, wow.
There we go! So that's good, because it would have been really annoying in Chris's sense not to get anything there. It's just been a needless delay, like later on, just having to come back here. Really not that good.
Yeah, especially considering the items that are in there aren't so anything necessary.
Yeah! I've been playing a lot of new logic stuff recently, and every single seed that I've done, I've had something important in there. And it would just be one of those, if I didn't get bombs during this, I'd be super annoyed, you know? Everything from Pegasus Boots to Hookshot to Moonpearl to Fire Rod has been in there. It's just, yeah, you don't want to miss that.
Oh, I can tell you about new logic and someone holding important items. For me, it's been the old man in the mountain. Had boots one time and the bow the second time, both which I forgot to check because I'm not used to not having the light cone by the time I head up there.
Yeah, that's the thing. Also, blue tree pole is single bombs, which is going to be pretty good to keep them topped up. Or Chris could just get 4 bombs off a crow. I mean, that works too. But, you know. Oh, now. See, it's interesting you say that, though, because I haven't had anything important from him recently. But hey, that's just how it goes. That's Randomizer for you.
So it looks like it's just a single red rupee that's sitting in the lumberjack cave, so... not something that they're probably going to go out of their way to get.
So, confirmed Dagger required to get into the Dark World proper then? Just because it's nothing on the lumberjack cave?
And Mike picking up the bomb capacity upgrade. Interesting.
Yeah, in this version, you actually get a bomb for it as well as the capacity upgrade. Like for every +5 bombs you have, you get from one, you actually get a bomb off of it. So I don't blame him because it's nice just being able to carry more than 10 bombs. You don't necessarily need to be able to, but if you come across any bombs, like get an 8-drop or something, then you're set for the rest of the game at that point. So. Yeah. Of course, it does slow him down very slightly compared to Chris, but...
Unfortunately, though, with Chris having to farm for the bomb a little bit longer, he's a tiny bit behind. But at this point in the game, nothing's set in stone.
Absolutely. So just a delayed thing of Chris slashing the guard, and then the guard just going, "Oh, you're here now, stab." Just... It's the silly things because you always end up getting caught by them yourself in a different way. It's just like that. Alright, so we got the shovel, so we can totally dig for bombs now, just in case that's needed.
I guess there is one thing set in stone. Whatever's in the pedestal.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Nice one.
So it looks like...
Good job, Rita. I joke about the shovel digging up bombs, but I've used it exactly once in a race before, and I dug up a single bomb so I could actually do the Thieves' Hut that they've just done. So, the one time that I've ever used it in a race, it's actually worked out. So, it's something exclusive to the Randomizer, I believe. You can just dig up random items of that. You can get bombs, you can even get fairies out of the ground, which I'm not... question. Speaking of fairies,
yeah, we got our bottles, so we can check Sick Kid at least on the way out of here.
That's a pretty good one to get, not gonna lie.
Getting the flute from this bottle vendor would be like optimal. I mean, you just go right to the right there.
The other coolest one to get it is from Blind, because you're literally in that statue and just in the Dark World. So if you get it from blind, you just mirror and immediately you're at the flute spot. Oh, more bottles. This time it's
Tribute
a Beator.
Tributes to Beator.
So it's a shame about the ordering there, because if that bee came before the fairy, then I would actually release that next to the bottle vendor, because if it's a gold bee, you get 100 rupees for it.
Oh, nice.
So, yeah, he drops 520s in this little arrow shape for you, so it's pretty good. I've done that once when he's actually given me a bee in a bottle, and it turned out to be a gold bee, so it's like, hey, just give me the bottle for free, and I'll be fine.
So lots of red rupees.
Yeah, it is the most common item in the game.
Nothing of significance, though, besides getting a shovel. Hopefully. Ooh, that was a hammer!
Speaking of significant items...
I take back everything. So
I love it. It's like, I've already done one call with the fairy, even though I wasn't trying to refer to that, and then it's immediately, you're like, oh, there's nothing important here. Bang! Hammer, straight up. Good stuff.
The knowledge, they don't have the boots at the moment, but the knowledge of it being there is definitely handy for them.
And that is one place, as soon as you get the boots, you'll want to.
Absolutely. It opens up so much. Oh my god!
Wow.
Titan's bits?
Boy hides bling again.
Say he's gonna have his hands full.
Yeah. Alright, so that is pretty great. Immediately you get the opportunity. See, it's a little bit of a difference. Like, I'd be more sure of this if Pegasus boots was a thing, but Chris is now going to use those gloves to just walk straight down here, whereas Mike save quit. I don't know which one is strictly faster. I have a feeling without boots they're pretty much the same, because it doesn't look like there's really been any advantage gained here, but I mean, if... Alright, we can beat the game now, we've got the validation arrow. So, just as a really quick aside, you open that chest before you drain the water, because if you get Pegasus boots out of there, then you can dash through here. So, it just makes a little bit more sense to open that first. Just on that off chance. Usually it isn't going to make Well, okay! That's a slightly stronger validation arrow.
We got all the arrows over here, jeez.
I only call it the validation arrow because it's the only single arrow in the entire game, so you always make that excuse of, oh, this is the arrow that's going to beat Ganon now. So, it's just, like, you can make the thing for the green rupee, but there's 2 copies of that in the game, so it's not quite as, worthy of being a validation. But the arrow, yeah.
So we're about to see what's in this mini Moldorm cave here. Hopefully he has the goods.
Oh, nice double kill with a bomb there. Very good.
Wow, Wow, all shields! All shields! They've
And the best thing about that is that Chris found them in reverse order too, so it's literally regressive shields here. That's awesome.
The strange thing, besides silver arrows, they literally have nothing that will help them in a dungeon.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? There's no real indicator as to where you're supposed to go yet, except for having Titansmith. And, well, that kind of points you up the mountain. And this version of logic, I can't imagine that that's going to be skipped for very long.
Yep. They have more than enough rupees to check Zora, although they don't have the flippers.
What an interesting item to have on the ledge there. Nothing these two are going to get, but that's a cool item to see. Just a blue potion there. You could imagine later on, if you do Swamp Palace, then you could do Swamp get that into ice. And that would be interesting. But obviously these two will not have any need for that, especially with 2 bottles anyway. Was that a green rupee up there?
It might have been a rupee amount. I didn't see if it was just the rupee or if there was an amount beside it. But yeah, there's definitely rupees up there, which means that this is going to be his only trip up to Zora.
So Zora's probably gonna have something good because Chris is like magnetically attracted to items. So he pretty much just has this thing of just getting to items wherever they are. See, look at this!
Oh my gosh!
He's gone straight up to Zora with fake flippers, no less, so there's no way that he could have gotten the second item there. And the one thing that's useful up there is Tempered Sword. Just Christos things, basically. That's all I can say for it.
Oh my gosh, and Sahashila's hut has nothing either. Goodness. There's gotta be something on Death Mountain or on the pyramid.
Yeah, and Death Mountain at the moment is 2 locations they can get and 1 they can scout, because no hookshot or mirror hammer to get across.
So, that's it. I think Hobo had rupees, or was it a heart piece?
Heart piece, I think.
Yeah.
Either way, it was fairly irrelevant. So it'll be interesting to see how much, if any, of an advantage this sword actually gives Chris for just now. Because, I mean, if another sword gets found, it's a pretty big difference between Tempered and Master, but even if Master Sword was found... Oh, Moonpearl, okay.
Well, Dark World, here we come.
Yep, that definitely helps out. And both players will have easy access for that too. So, now the seed gets a little bit more interesting.
If they can find Hookshot.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, that would be optimal. If Hookshot was in Spectacle Rock here, that would definitely be a really handy thing to find.
Let's have a look. Nope.
It's
gotta be lame.
Lame? What are you talking about? This is my favorite item.
You know what? I actually did make a decent use of it in one room earlier. I think it was the Hellway in Thieves Town that I actually did the Cane of Burner dash and just like item dashed through that room with it, and it actually looked pretty good. So it had one use and it worked for it. So, you know.
I just like it because it sparkles.
I mean, that's also pretty fair. Honestly, the main thing I have against it stops you using the spin attack, because that's basically what the sparkle is. It's redone like spin attack, so it stops you from doing that, which kind of kills a lot of the potential utility of it for me.
Yeah, it's true.
Alright, what do we got? Red there, blue. Okay, so red was Skullwoods, blue was Pasadana's. I didn't see what 5 and 6 were because I was too busy looking for the pendants. We do have to do Turtle Rock.
5 is Turtle Rock, 6 is Misery Mire.
Oh, wow, really? Okay.
Yep.
Well, Pyramid Fairy. That's pretty much never happening.
Well, could be Bow.
Yeah, I mean, there are worst case scenarios for it, but under this logic, that's pretty much not going to happen. And there's flippers, so... Yeah. Okay, that's not bad, because that might lead... I mean, if the mirror's found, that might lead Mike towards the north of the... Well, I mean, you'd need boots as well, right? But you'd be leaning toward... Oh, nice red mail, okay. So... potential regressive mail here as well, I guess. When we go through, that'd be fun. Chris kind of already broke the whole get every item in reverse order thing, though, because he's already got Tempered Sword and not Gold Sword, but hey. So it is interesting now, well, Chris is not going for Feast Town at the moment, and it looks like Mike is also not going to go that way. Makes sense. I mean, you don't have Pegasus Boots and you don't have hammers, so it's a really slow dungeon, because normally you just dash everywhere in there. No such luck at the moment. And without the hammer, you might be missing an item. And if you don't have the boots, you really don't want to miss that item. Of course, we know where the hammer is, so... and it needs the boots.
Ooh, ether. We don't know what
with digging up gold things today.
We don't know what medallion is required for Misery Mire or Turtle Rock, but that could definitely be an access point for one of them.
Yep. So it's kind of unfortunate in a way doing this stuff at the moment because, you know, they don't exactly have the mirror to get everything here. But at the same time, so long as you remember that when you for stuff later on, that the Haunted Grove Ledge is something you've got to do, it's really not that bad. And obviously they're going towards Hype Cave. We know how good Hype Cave can be, even, you know, no matter what version of the game you play in, Hype Cave usually has something good. So...
Is chat hype for Hype Cave?
I sure hope so.
I think today it will be a Hype Cave. With all the disappointment they've gotten so far, they've got to be hoping for something good here.
So, let's see. That would be nice. Nothing.
No.
Nothing.
No.
Nothing.
No, come on.
Oh, hookshot. Okay. That would have been
Oh.
my second hope, because hookshot would lead you up Death Mountain again, and you can get a lot of stuff up there. But okay, that was a sufficiently Hype Cave. So, where is Chris off to now? Is he gonna go around to the pedestal? The pyramid?
He might head down here to pick up the bottle. He could also head to the hobo. Oh,
No
he doesn't
mirror.
have mirror.
Yeah, no
never mind.
mirror, so... I believe, yeah, the only reason he would come around here is because he can't do the hammer bridge, so... Yeah, you'd be swimming up here, and then you can get up, basically, where the hobo would be. You can actually get up in the Dark World, and that takes you to the other side of the bridge here. Which actually is what Mike is going to do as well. Very interesting.
Yeah, very similar routing from both players. Some few divergences, but pretty much doing mostly the exact same things. And without boots, swimming is a lot faster as well.
If you can control it and don't get hit by the, don't get clipped into the walls and stuff, because yeah, that happens. And the pyramid is a very good spot in this version of the logic, like much more so than nowadays, but not this time.
Well,
Just
power
a regular
gloves.
old boring glove. I mean, if Chris had sequence broke and did the Fate Flipper stuff to Zora as he still did, had he not found Titan's Mitt, would have been able to get some use out of that. But it would have been via a sequence break, so it's kind of funny that the better glove is the one that you didn't have to break for.
And Christos unfortunately getting bodied a little bit by those dead rocks.
Yeah, the dead rocks are not the problem when you've got red mail, it's the boulders, because they still do a set harder damage, so you still do not want to get hit by them, but the dead rocks only do, well, the dead rocks get affected by your mail, so harder damage at green, but only a quarter of a heart at red, so... Take one hit and still have sword beams, for as terrible as they are.
So we'll get to see what's in East Death Mountain as well as... Oh, wow!
And a bow booster, just to go with it.
Now they have silvers and the bow, so they can at least complete Eastern.
Yep.
They've got to find those boots. Both players will know dark rooms, so... They won't need the lantern to do pod.
Oh, there's Quake, okay.
They might be wanting to at least get a little bit more hearts before attempting it.
Maybe not with red mail, though. Oops. It's got a little bit too overzealous with getting to the edge of there. And so, quite rightly, will not bother here. However, this does mean he's going to be leaving... Probably going to be leaving Spike Cave as he goes round. Oh, not Spike Cave, no, he's going
Spiral.
up anyway. Spiral Cave. They
There
both
you
begin
go.
press, it's good enough. Or should we say the Snail Cave, because that's the pace he's going to be given.
If, you know, what a situation like this, would you, if you had fallen, would you go into Dark World and take a gamble that Mirror is in Dark World?
No. Because... Yeah, it's possible. I've had it up there before, but it's just I couldn't bring myself to do that because then I wouldn't want to come back up here. And if we've actually seen in a couple of races that has completely killed the race entirely. One because Book was there, which led to Moonpearl. Eunice's race, I think, was also against Christos. That in this case, and the mirror was there. And this time it's just the cape. But hey, that cape could be useful when they get back into the Dark World.
Could be something in Bumper Cave. Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I wouldn't be able to bring myself to do that. And it really doesn't take long. I would have actually gone back up the stairs and done the jump again, like, properly, because I think that would still save time over walking around. But I do appreciate the diligence of not behind, basically.
So we also got to see that there was a mushroom on the floating isle.
Yep. Dark World badge is here. Oh, Chris, not getting the timing on the clip here. If you are close, we'll probably see Mike do it here. If you're close enough to the left one when you push it out, there you go. You can actually hook shot to it whilst the other one is being pushed, and you can walk straight through it. Gotta be quick, but it's not too difficult when you get it. You've just got to make sure you're not too far over to the right so you can actually hit the block. And there is Ken Samaria. That's pretty good. And you see, that mistake has basically resynced the runners here. With the one exception of Mike has checked the Sahasrala's hut, whereas Chris has checked Zora. So that's like the only difference in their routing at the moment.
So it looks like we're good to see the medallion for Turtle Rock, and I believe that was Bomo. So neither of them have the ability to access it. Out of 66% chance that they had the ability to access it, unfortunately, neither of them do.
Oh, well, they can beat Aghanim now because they've got the bug net, surely. Oh, I love that little kill there. I don't know exactly why it happens, as Mike having to consider a bit what he wants to do. So, but I love the kill there. Like, I don't know exactly how you set it up, or if you can set it up, but just being able to use the hook shot to kill the Beery and get over there, really fun.
Look at this sink.
This is awesome.
Oh.
Except now we have the divergence.
Yep. So this is where Mike goes and checks Zora, and Christos goes and checks Sahasrala.
Yep. So we had the sync, and then we had the desync. Because one is going to be using the bow, and the other one is not.
So this will work in Christos' favor because he's going to be able to go in directly into Eastern.
Yeah.
A little bit of a time save here from doing it this way.
Yeah, it's funny how that works out. Just going to Zora at the very beginning when you've got no way of getting both items and you've not got the Pegasus boots and all of that jazz, and no Moonpearl to do the quote-unquote Jesus walk, but it worked out, and this is where we go from here. At least it's a good sword to match with the armament they have at the moment. Red sword with, well, they've got pretty much all the red items, huh? Except the fire rod. I'm
gonna guess that either mirror or boots are in here.
Yeah, I suppose there are still a few red items to get besides that, but, I'm just looking at the tracker and it's a lovely shade at the moment, gotta say. Yeah, the lamp is red too, I know. The lamp is a luxury in this version. To be fair, it's probably still a luxury for most of the time in the newest version where you've removed everything except the sewers in the light world. But if you have to do Aga Tower, good luck. That's all I can say. Aga Tower without the lamp. No thank you.
Oh yeah, agreed. It wouldn't be so bad without all those pits, and then like, all the pits in Aga Tower is what makes it challenging.
Like, I'm relatively confident with my dark rooms in general. Like, I did quite a bit of practice of Pod. I can do Maya really easily. The only one I don't like is the Turtle Room when I don't have Fire Rod to light it up. But if I have Ether or Bombos, I can still do that quite well. Love the strat from Chris there, by the way.
Oh, there's only one item left in this dungeon.
Yeah, it's not looking good, is it?
No. So far, it's just been trash. Well, not Eastern Palace, more like Trash Palace at the moment.
The Trash Palace.
Yeah.
Is that why they put so many guards here when you kill Aghanim? Because this is secretly the dumping site, like the trash site of the Light World. So they've got to put some security there because people kept dumping stuff on it. I'm sure we could make it a headcanon if we wanted, right?
So I don't think they've gotten the big key yet, which means that this chest that Christos is headed to will be the big key.
Yeah, I didn't mention the hookshot use in the dark room from Chris there. That's dependent on where the Stalfos moves. Usually the Stalfos is covering the pot, which you actually, did the hookshot stuff to with the key there, and it's kind of annoying because you'd ideally want to just get that hookshot done, and it's really nice just going across the room, but most of the time you don't really get the chance to do it because this mini Stalfos stays in the way. As you could see there, if Mike tried to do it straight away, then he wouldn't have actually been able to do it because he would have just stunned the stupid thing, and yeah, not particularly great.
So looks like Armos is holding onto our item. Hopefully it's something good. They need something at this point.
Well, they've got silver arrows, so this won't take long. The bow was hype. No, the hookshot was Hype Cave. The bow was slightly earlier than that, right?
I think the bow was on Death Mountain, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. Lightwell, Death Mountain. Yeah, okay, so slightly later in the way that we worked out because he needed the hookshot for that.
So we'll get to see our first Armos here. We'll take no time at all.
Oh, the fire rod! Okay.
Okay.
Yum. Alright. So that would lead you towards Skullwoods. And yeah, this is just the red seed. That's it. But alright, so it's not trash, but it could be used to burn the trash which gets dumped here.
Incineration rod.
Exactly.
Christos giving the priest a kiss on the way out for some hearts. Probably be headed to Thieves' Town or Skullwoods.
I suppose this would open Ice Palace if it wasn't for the fact that we know the hammer isn't there, and you need the hammer to finish Ice Palace off. It would be a pretty cool joke if the boots were in ice, though.
Oh yeah.
Whoa, that fire rod was in the wall. I don't quite know how we managed it, Mike, but that would have been really rough if you couldn't pick it up there. I don't even know if you could save quit out of that, actually. So with Skullwoods being a pendant, I can see Chris not. Although Chris makes a play on Skullwoods really often, so this to me is an interesting play by him because he knows he can't get the hammer and he doesn't have the boots.
But Thieves' Town, in earlier Logic versions, Thieves' Town had an extremely high probability of having a good item in here in these first few chests. Just because the older Logic, the easier that an item or location is to access, the more likely an item would be there. So that's why Pyramid had such a high probability of having something, because the only thing you needed to do was to defeat Aghanim.
That doesn't seem quite the way around, but I think I get what you mean. Because by that logic, then the places you would get to at the very beginning without any items would be the ones that would have all the stuff. And that's not quite the way that it worked. But,
not in this seed, no. But in,
not in this
most
seed,
of them.
clearly. No, I think it's more the fact of places which were it created a sort of breadcrumb trail where places that were unlocked by items that you maybe get one or two at the beginning to unlock places, like Timesmith in this case, and that would get you something to get to the next item, and that seemed to be most of the way it went. But it's interesting in this one that there were so few things at the beginning, but then again, we've seen plenty of seeds that way in the tournament. Oh, that key is so painful towards it. Actually, serious question, why would you get that key just now? You know that hammer is not in here. You have a small key from the beginning of the dungeon. You don't need to grab that key there. You can grab it when you go and save blind, like just before you're about to do the boss fight.
Most likely just muscle memory.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking myself, because I can't imagine Chris would have done that as a conscious choice.
Yeah, it does save a little bit of time, but the amount of times that you come in here with the hammer is it's 9 times out of 10 just muscle memory, or worrying that you might forget it because you're so used to grabbing it.
Yeah, I mean, that's also pretty fair. Oh my... Okay, well, forget everything I said, apparently. That is brutal. Now, if there's an item in the big chest, that is going to be horrible. Absolutely horrendous. So this is funny, because I think... I hate doing this dungeon without the boots, but I think I would have sucked it up here or just sort of done it when I first got into Darkwell, because, well, it's a crystal dungeon. I can do it immediately. I may as well just hope I get lucky.
Oh my
no
God.
luck there. But
poor Christos.
Oh, am I seeing things early?
I think just a second early.
That's interesting, because... Okay. Oh my God.
Oh, the mirror, too! Look at that! Boots
Why?
and mirror! Boots and mirror!
That's just cruel. Okay. Apparently, I can see the future. Yeah. Oh, dear. Apparently not, though, because clearly... Oh my goodness.
If they would have come into Thieves Town right off the bat, though, that would have been really good for them.
Yep. So I wasn't paying enough attention through the dungeon. Were both map and compass found here?
I think map and compass were both found at the beginning.
That's horrific. Because you could not get the hammer before coming in here with the way this dungeon was set up.
Yep.
Ouch.
Excellent blind fight from Christos. And gets a heart piece.
Just blinds a little bit of love.
Yeah, went to the door. Unfortunately, do not have neither the key nor the hammer.
Yep, which is frustrating, because if you'd have realized that, you could have just gone up the top bit and ignored the block. Because the block doesn't respawn until you've gone through more than like 3 rooms. So when you pick up the block, go down, rescue blind, and then come back up, you actually do get to just go straight through that room. So, wow.
Oh, wow, that actually works.
I don't think he's going to get back to that portal. I love how that's exactly the thought that we both had there. Oh, but apparently he did get away with it, so... I could have sworn I've done stuff similar to that before and not been able to get back into Portal, so Chris is a wizard, friend. I mean, we already knew this. Yeah, we already knew that he's a wizard by the fact of he's here in the way that he's ridden this so far, but, in case it wasn't already obvious, he's a wizard. Yeah, right. Shoutouts to the Sonic speedrun community. That was a sub-pixel perfect setup there.
All right, time to see what the blacksmith has They'll head out, head back in. Both players doing the exact same routing. This is really interesting.
Right, so they're trying their hand at surgery today, apparently. Not sure I'm most comfortable with that. Mike is just realizing, oh wait, I should have got the hammer first. Whoops.
So Christos opting to not do... Interesting, not do the... Oh boy. The lunchbox, there we go. That's the word I was looking for.
Yeah, I can understand that. I mean, he's got one spot to check with a mirror, but he doesn't have the book to do bomb bursts afterwards. So
makes sense, yeah.
And yeah, not necessarily the easiest of things to run with there.
But he does have both the mirror to check, or mirror and boots to check this location, as well as King's Tomb.
Oh yeah. And this, I always said before the tournament started, is one of the top 5 locations to forget that one. Including the pyramid seemed to be one as well, because a lot of the time when you don't do Aghanim, it can be tricky to route back to it in a reasonable manner, and a lot of people just forget that it's there, yeah. Because you do so much Dark World stuff, and it's like, oh, well, I've been in the Dark World for 30, 40 minutes now, I must have already done this.
So we'll get to see here what is in this cave.
Oh, ooh, there's our lamp. Continuing with the red theme here.
It's nice to find, not required for either of these players, but definitely something that's handy, especially when Misery Mire is on the list of things to do. Having to place that block can sometimes be a bit of a pain in the butt.
Yeah, I mean... It's one of those things that even if you can do them, that doesn't mean you want to do them. Like, I don't mind doing dark rooms, but I definitely appreciate the change. Oh, there's the ice rod! So I suppose that is why in Four Swords Adventures we have Frozen Hyrule as one of the things then, because clearly the royal family has got ties to the Ice Queen.
So we might see our first catfish here.
Yeah, Christos is getting really close to being go mode here. I believe he is Flute away and Bombos for Total Arc.
Yep, that's the only things left. Well, yeah. He needs, potentially if he gets Flute right away, then he won't need the book to enter Desert Palace.
Yeah. Yep.
But Flute might be sitting inside Desert Palace.
Just a bloomerang for Mike's hard work taking that lunchbox back. And Chris is like, nope, I don't need your heart. It's not even whole.
No catfish love today.
Wait, Chris, what are you doing? You've already done this.
He might be going to see what's on the ledge. Oh, it was just a single green rupee?
I thought it was, because they have a slightly different shade to them, so... Oh wow, Mike actually getting ahead of the anti-fairy there. That I think Andy said there are not many frames that you can do that in. Maybe like a third of a second or something that you've got of error within that room before you can't get ahead of the anti-fairy there. That's ridiculous. Nice, interesting play going into Swamp here though. We're finally starting to see a little bit of divergence here.
Yeah, Mike needs to win this in order to stay in the tournament. So he knows that most likely players opt to not check Swamp until they're in go mode, because it's a lot quicker to do. So it'll be interesting to see if there's anything in here, because there's a lot of dungeons that they can access at the moment, and Swamp would be one that I would leave for later, but it looks like Christos might be heading there as well.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, the options at this point, you've got Tower of Hera, which is a pendant. You've got Palace of Darkness, which is a pendant. You've got Skull Woods, which is a pendant. You've got Ice Palace, which is not ideal compared to Swamp. And yeah, you can't do Maya. You can't do Total Rock because Bombos. So yeah, out of what they've got to do, this seems like the most logical option. even though it is a long dungeon, there's also a lot of items here. Not quite sure how Chris managed to miss the despawn there, but... So Ice Rod was in King's Tomb. So...
Yeah, and Mike has yet to do the Northern Hyrule stuff. Well, it looks like he's gonna be skipping the left side. Not a bad decision. Hopefully the dungeon items are over there. If map and compass are over there, that would be nice.
Yeah, I always get frustrated with this way. I don't know. I mean, I had the seed I played just before starting, you know, the stuff here. I had map and compass on the other side, and so that was frustrating in its own right. But it just... There's something about doing this way that I never quite seem to get. I mean, it's really dependent on where the big key is as to which way is faster, and I don't think there's universally one correct answer. There's your big key this time. So that's interesting that he's not... I guess if you're committed to coming back to doing the right side, then you may as well just do this. And yeah, with Matt being there, you're definitely going to have to come back in.
Yeah, 6 items in Swamp Palace, so there's still quite a few things that they have yet to check.
Yeah, a lot of potential in here. Of course, we know only 2 items actually make a significant difference at the moment, though. Everything else leads to fetch quests.
There was the, actually, speaking of fetch quests, what they haven't picked up is the mushroom that was on the floating island.
Yep. Oh, that would be very cool as well, if that mushroom led to the flute.
Yep.
Oh. Also, fantastic kill of August there from Mike. You've seen the hookshot strats he had as well there. Oh, okay, there's the book. So that might pretend... I mean, that's actually really good to find in Swamp Palace, because now Mike can just go straight into doing the Bomber's Tablet, and maybe even do Desert at the same time. So that's a really good place to find the book, because it's right next to one of the tablets. And he's taking the risk. He's not going back in. Really interesting.
Well, he definitely has to take some. He definitely has to take some risks at the moment, because he is 1 win behind Christos. So if he doesn't win this one, he's out of the tournament. So he's definitely going to be taking some risks for sure.
Yeah, and well, I feel like if both of them just play their standard game, then Chris probably is going to win, just because, again, he's magnetically attracted to items. He seems to just find items wherever he goes. So if both of them just play the standard game, then Chris is probably going to win just through that. Whether it's just the sense of direction he's got, or in the case of Book It Again as Cave in the last race, sheer luck, but you know, luck is sometimes a big part of these things, so what can you say? But I've definitely seen a couple of times, well, I've heard a couple of times in the elimination round here where Chris has said, yeah, I didn't expect that to happen, or I forgot this was a thing, and so I kind of, okay, well, there's a Master Sword.
If this is something... okay. I was about to say, if that was something like Flute, though, that would be a huge disadvantage.
That would probably be game over, because I don't think Mike is going back to Swamp anytime soon. And, yeah,
there's
he'd
still
have to
the
be
big...
complete.
There's still the big chest, though.
There is, and that's the worrying part.
But at least big chest is not that hard to come back to check for.
No, it's not.
In comparison to those 2 on the left-hand side, anyways.
Oh yeah, just a Bob upgrade there. Not too special.
And I think this is how this should be an item potentially.
Not this time.
Nope, compass. Nope. So, Lanmolist holding the item.
Well, that's okay because you've got silver arrows for it. So. Really not a big deal, and if you're not too comfortable... So I like the way Chris has done this here because he's gone up to the waterfall room to get the one item there and then come back down. If Big Key happens to be in that room, then you're gonna be really annoying. Rip me. What do you mean, rip me? What have I done? Did I cut out for a sec or something?
Oh my god, it was Bombos.
Uh-oh.
Oh no!
Oh dear.
Oh, Mike. Send
This is
Mike
bad.
your telepathy thoughts. He
This
needs
is
to
really
go back
bad.
to swamp. Go back.
And this is the problem. And well, this is why half the time I end up being slower than I probably could in seeds, because I thoroughly clear the places, because this can happen. And this has happened so many times that...
If
Oh,
drop
no.
in. Okay, whew.
Hey, this is not my fault, chat. I didn't do anything to this. This is not my fault.
Oh my god, imagine if Flute isn't Turtle Rock. Or Ice Palace, I guess. It could be there too.
Yeah, that would be... I didn't curse anyone! Well, the best hope here is that it takes a long time to find the flute for Chris and not for mine. That's really about the best that we can hope for here.
Ooh, half magic.
That's at least something useful.
Yeah.
Man, why am I getting vindicated here?
Ooh, nice hookshot dash there.
Yeah, that's pretty difficult to set up, actually, because even if you get it, it does tend to get clipped by the enemies, so awful irritating place to try and get one.
So I think Christos might go into Agina's cave here. Oh, no. For a second, kind of dashed upward, thought about it, and then decided no.
I think he was just realigning himself because he realized, oh, I'm going to hit a cactus here. I should probably not dash this way. You definitely don't want to get hit by them, despite just the damage off of it is, and the knockback is really painful. Takes a lot of the time up.
So currently Christos is only looking for the flute to be in go mode. That is it.
Yeah.
He's also got the Swamp Palace crystal. So they are even at the moment. Or wait, hang on.
Well,
Desert
Mike
Palace
also...
isn't marked for Mike.
Yeah, Mike has got desert. Chris has got swamp as well.
There we go.
Just had to open the thing up myself as well,
Yeah,
just to see where things were, you know.
too.
Admittedly, that is one potential drawback of normally having a dedicated tracker for this stuff, is you have a tendency to just forget about that part yourself, which is fair enough, but yeah, so Mike playing another thing here. This is what I thought Chris was going to do, like much earlier on, making a play into Skull Woods, and hopefully that would, I mean, I say hopefully that'd yield the flute. I wouldn't be too surprised if Chris goes in there before too long, so... Because Turtle Rock in this version of the logic still isn't very likely to have have anything that's useful, so... Interesting way round here from Mike. Just the way that he went to the second part first, and then went from there.
That's I found that most of the time the item was actually in that room that he checked first.
Yeah, so in the new logic, the chest that's in the room south of where Mike is at the moment actually can have an item now. And obviously, if you fell into that room and it didn't have a small key, you'd have to save quit. But it can have one. Just any one of the 3 chests in that left-hand in that area have to have a small key. And Mike is not actually going to finish this place. Interesting. Just wanted to check the first area and doesn't want to tangle him off. I can understand that. So if that ends up being where the flute is, then oh boy, we're in trouble.
Yeah, the half-finished dungeons are going to be interesting because at some point in time he's going to have to go back and figure out which dungeon he wants to go into because of it.
Nice
fire rod.
Yeah.
Gets a blue rupee, not the blue item he's looking for.
Nope, not at all. Funnily enough, it was the flute that was messing me up before in the run I was doing to trying to get it finished before the commentary here started. And that was in Desert Palace. So, just kind of typical. But yeah, where's Chris gonna go now? He could do Turtle Rock. Is that where he's gonna go?
He could also check while he's up here, he can also check Spike Cave as well as that floating island mushroom that's still probably haunting his memory.
Ideally, you would like to save Spike Cave for last, because Spike Cave as a whole is not somewhere you want to leave afterwards. You'd want to save quit from there, so you'd probably see him do that last.
He might also be hopping into Tower of Hera. Again, something that's easily accessible early on. So it could have something. It could have something of significant worth.
He also skipped half magic, looking at it, which is interesting. Didn't go into Agina's cave at all, which is rather surprising, given you're save quitting afterwards. May as well go in there. It's another dead end sort of point that you would save quit from. Well, that's not a good sign. Because I think he'll just leave if there's not a big key down here. Okay. Because I wouldn't see Chris going through the tile room at the moment. Not in a green pendant dungeon. I mean, it's green pendant, but that's a long time to wait for something that isn't likely to give you what you're after.
Yeah. Most of the time it's quantity. You're looking for the most amount of chests that you can check in a short amount of time.
Yeah, that's Chris's philosophy. So he said that in one of the previous interview stuff, and that's something I've been trying to look at a bit more myself recently, is doing what is quick to do, not necessarily what is the most, the highest density of items. Like Skull Woods over Swamp Palace, as an example. Oh, just a heart, though.
So there's still the map.
Yeah, no, we didn't see a pedestal check from Mike at all, did we? Because he didn't go to the other half of Skull Woods.
And with Meyer being a crystal and Flute, it could possibly be there.
It could. There's no reason why it wouldn't be. Oh, quite getting the right bomb toss there. Yeah, it's another trivial one, but there is an item down in the basement, isn't it?
Yep.
If anybody's wondering why you tend to see the bombs being thrown rather than just placed there, it's just because the bombs have a set timer. I know it's probably really obvious, but there are some. I've had questions in my chat before of why you placing the bomb and throwing it there rather than putting it at the wall. And it's just because you don't want it to. You don't want to have that fuse going the entire time over there. Just wall clip into my exactly, Willard. See, this man gets it. Just wall clip into my. I mean, Chris would do it if he could, if he was allowed to. I've seen him do glitch runs. So yeah, it looks like Chris is gonna go into Turtle Rock here. This is something that I would definitely do nowadays. I don't know if I'd have even considered it right now in this version, though.
I definitely wouldn't have. Because of the amount of items required to get into Turtle Rock, the likelihood of something being in there of importance is really low.
Yeah, this is kind of where it gets a little bit, like, over-exaggerated in terms of the get items to do things, because as you say, there are so many items that you need to get in here. I think it seems to be much more favored for like 1 or 2 items when you need something. So say the first 2 items you get in Death Mountain, because all you need to get there is the gloves. Or the, like Eastern Palace tends to have nothing because there's no requirement to get in there, right? So it's weird. But there's a point where it gets to be so many items that you need to get into a dungeon that, yeah, there's nothing left that the logic could put there reasonably. At the very least, this doesn't look like it's going to be a super fast Turtle Rock, because even though the big key was picked up there, there's still no small key. So there will have to be some hunting for a small key in this dungeon. So Mike is also going to be killing Moldorm up here. I do not, blame him in the slightest for that, because Green Pendant could still yield Flute or Bombus for him. Obviously, we know it can't yield Bombus ourselves, but again, it's one of those, he doesn't know that, so he's got to play with the information he has. And yeah, it's where you just get that really gut-wrenching feeling off it, don't you? It's just like, I want you to go here, please, just go back. You can do it. But it's, no matter how hard we say that. So, Chris playing Samaria football again, obviously, just punting the thing across there. I need to learn to do that as well, actually, because it just looks really cool.
It really does. And Chris has found 1 item so far in Turtle Rock. There's 5 potential items in here, so... Ooh, but we're getting to see our first Spike Cave check.
Yeah, so Mike can't do Turtle Rock because he doesn't have the Bombos, so... That's fine. Conserving as much magic as he could there as well. I like it.
But he was able to pick up the mushroom, so he might head down there. He's got the green pendant, he can check Sahashala. He's got the mushroom, so he can check those locations. Yeah.
The problem, even though it sounds good with them both being on the path, the problem is they're both very disconnected from each other. You've got to go really far out the way to get to... Just double checking stuff there. You've got to go really far out the way to get to Shahabadu, as I call him. And and then you've got to go back out of this bit and then, round the top of this really far out the way to get to the mushroom as well. It's just a rough section to do. It sounds really good in theory, but it's still a long time. And, well... Green pendant,
green potion.
Yes, he's just like, here, let me melt this for you and stick it in the bottle, and now you can drink it somehow. Even though I'm pretty sure it's still metal, and you probably shouldn't drink that, but hey. Magical pendant gives you a magical potion, I guess. Alright, Mimic Cave for Chris here. I'm sure I've tried to do that before and it hasn't worked. I'm sure I pulled that and it just hasn't, the guy hasn't come to me. Just an arrow missed, man.
The only way that those mimics move is if you're not holding a direction button when you start the pull. So if you're holding the wall and you're pushing a direction button at the same time, it won't work. You have to stop moving, hold the wall, then pull the direction, and they'll come to you.
This is why I just use the statue in Cannon's Tower, because it's just much easier. Anyway, interesting play from Mike here as well. To ice just now. I wonder how he's going to route around this, because he can do all the fancy tricks in here at once. It just depends on how he actually sets this up. Because... Not that he needs to do the bomb jump in the hookshot room with the red jellies, but there are ways to do bomb jumps in every single room with a gap in this place, if you want.
We got a disco party going on in the Turtle Rock
Chris
dark
is giving
room.
everyone in the room seizures because he's spinning the light round. Just like a record, right? Alright, so at the very least he doesn't have to do dashes in this room, but I imagine he's not gonna do it anyway. Okay, I have seen some runners actually just do the dashes in this room regardless because they're so used to it. And you know, the one nice thing about doing this dungeon the way Chris has right now is even though it hasn't given him what he wanted, it's still a dungeon that has to be cleared. Oh, yep. This is a weird way of setting it up for Mike. Yo! Wow!
Oh, nice! That was awesome!
I've never seen it attempted that way before. That's crazy. You're a crazy person, Mike.
Christos going in here with 4 hearts should be no problem.
No, because he's still got enough to take a hit if he wants to. Oh, this is another interesting way around for Mike. So instead of going down to get the chest with the ice goalies, he's instead going to just go around the top bit here. Yeah, I can understand why, because with this here, like, if you don't get the small key out of that chest, you're probably gonna have to come round up the top here anyway. Although if it's me, I'd bomb jump, because I'm used to doing that one now. But oh, don't get killed, Chris. I'm pretty sure you still have that fairy, but still, don't get killed. Yeah, but there is a small key guaranteed under this giant rock here, so that's, you know, you can use that key to get back across and, you know, back into the crossroads room, and then you can go down from there. So yeah, interesting way around of doing this.
So if you were Christos and you had gotten and finished Turtle Rock, would you go to Ice Palace or would you take a pod gamble?
So me personally, I would probably do Ice Palace because it's the crystal, and so even if I don't get the item I want out of there, I'm making progress. But then again, knowing Christos, he's probably going to mushroom. We're probably going to find flute there just to just to prove all of us wrong, right? But yeah, I like that he's getting the mushroom because this is definitely not a place you're going to want to come back to. Where are you going, Mike?
He's too fast!
And there's the big key because of course.
And Christos will probably check Spike Cave now.
So the only catch here is that Mike is leaving another chest behind in here now. Because if you notice where he is, there's one chest at the end of this floor that he's not getting right now. And I don't think he's gotten the third item out of here. Maybe I'm wrong, but
he might be taking the cold stare gamble.
Alright, Chris has got to be careful, but he did leave 2 hearts on purpose, which is good. Flute and Hera basement would be horrible right now because neither of them went for it. Oh, it's kind of weird positioning off of that. I guess he hit the cold stare too far up rather than... Ooh. See, this is what I'm talking about. Chris is going to do the mushroom because neither of us said he's going to do that. And cold stare did have the item, so Mike got a little bit fortunate there. This isn't a route that you get to see very often, what Chris is doing here, but it is very good to know where all the teleporters go. I think Kenny uses this route quite a bit when he gets the chance, so kind of good. But yeah, where does Mike go now?
He is heading to Sanctuary, so...
Oh, it's not here. That's interesting. Alright, so now where do you go? So I think we have determined then at this point that it's in either Skull Woods or Palace of Darkness, right? I mean, it could be Pedestal still, we don't know, but I'm kind of lumping that in with the whole pendant quiet stuff here.
Yeah, there's still that one chest in Ice Palace.
Oh, you know where else it could be? There's that one chest in Thieves Town, isn't there?
Yep, that's correct.
That they couldn't get on the way through.
I wonder if that's where Christos is going, or if he might.
I think Chris is going to be Skullwoods.
Yeah, quantity over, I guess, whatever, anything else.
Very interesting to see Mike take a potion there. I guess it's because you're here. Oh no, Chris is not. Man, Chris is making me look like. Chris hasn't done Magic Bat yet. That's where.
He doesn't have powder.
Then where? Oh, he's not done Purple Chest either. Right. Okay. Cool. Cool. That's fine.
So
I was like, oh, he's going this way. Has to be for the bat, right? Nope. He hasn't done the chest.
Has either of them checked the Haunted Grove ledge? Either? He's got the mirror out, so he might be checking that along the way.
I want to say Mike did, because I think Mike did go around that way.
I don't know if he had the mirror at the time. Oh, he had the mirror because he had the yeah, never mind. Yeah, he did. I remember. Because he couldn't get the lunchbox through the door. Yes. So the error message came out. Yeah, that's right.
I didn't see that bit. So this is, another interesting play for Mike here, and I don't blame him. Based on what he's got, this is the place that's got the most stuff left. So do not blame him for going for this one.
I really think that Flute will be in pod.
I mean, at this point, I'm hoping so, because that is one thing that Mike really needs at this point, is some sort of advantage here. I don't understand why you bonk at that bit. I've been trying to work that out for ages. It works both the light and the dark world. But then, one of the things in the new version 22, you can play as different sprites and whatnot, and I saw Willard dash through that as the frog. No problem. And I have no idea why, because it's the same sprite and everything. Now, should be the same size, but I have no idea why it works for that and not for the other stuff. That's right, Chris hasn't done here. Neither player will have done here then, right?
Yeah, it's normally something that they leave until they have Flute, and oh, wouldn't that be awful?
Yeah, see, I'm a pleb, and I do this place regardless. I always have, even in this version, this area. Sure, it rarely paid out, but it's like, well, I'm just gonna do it now and get it out of the way. And on the occasion that it did pay out, nobody else ever checked it, so it was always advantage me. So, I always check that bit just because I can. But double heart piece there. Yeah. That's not what you want to be seeing.
Some pod love here. Not.
That's. Yeah, out of keys. Gonna have to go this way around.
So, Christos heading into Ice Palace. Still looking for that Flute, so not going to be a go mode Ice Palace. There is one chest in here that we don't know what's in it, so.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure Mike got every item, so. Because Coldstare had one. So if Mike gets the Flute before Chris does, the main reason he would go back to Swamp Palace is if Maya turns out to need Bombos as well. It is possible, we don't know that yet, but it is possible that it also needs Bombos, so he could be locked out of both dungeons. And at that point, you've got to start thinking, where could it go? And then maybe thinking, oh, there's dungeons I've left stuff in. Although he'd probably do Feast Town first, just to prove me wrong. But that's, whoa!
Yeah, the only issue is he's got so many dungeons now that he has to go back and look for.
Mike was trying to channel his inner Christos there, doing the cane dash. Unfortunately, the enemies kind of got in the way, so the switch wasn't on screen when he got to that, so it didn't really work out, but it still looked pretty cool, and that's what counts. Yeah, I would probably agree with that, actually, that Mike pretty much needs Misery Maya to be Bombos at this stage, I would say. Because if it's not, then that's going to be a really big problem for him. Why? I don't quite understand sometimes these players with their crazy way of setting this thing up. They just keep on moving until the very end of it. Like, really? I thought you guys would be a bit more consistent with it than that, but okay. I guess if you want to just keep dancing until it works, maybe that is part of the Who knows? Oh man, there really is nothing here, is there?
Yeah, I think that this is a key.
No, there can't be a key in this chest, because you could lock yourself out of if it was. No. So Helmasaur could have it, because I did see map and compass there. Mike still needs to get the key, which is down here.
It looks like there's a chest on the left side that he hasn't grabbed either.
Yeah, but
so
that is key locked.
Yeah. It's a key there. It's unfortunate routing for him. He's having to begin
he's had to mirror like
times.
3 times, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so he knows the way this works. That chest is locked by a small key door, and so with the way this is set up, that has to be a small key that's in there. So he'll never be able to open that chest, but it's also like the least significant chest in the world. So I always seem to do that as well. Like Chris just made the chest appear there, but he's gonna have to make it appear again when he goes into that room. And I've been making that mistake quite a bit as well, where you really just want to dash through that room unless you're gonna go back and open the chest anyway. Otherwise, it just, you've got to lift the pod up again and make the chest spawn again. Yeah, so the main reason why you wouldn't check the pedestal just out of the blue is because it's really far out of the way. The most common way to check the pedestal is when you do Skull Woods, and then you mirror from the end of Skull Woods, and you check it then. However, Skull Woods is a pendant dungeon in this seed, and it's not even green pendant. They've already got green pendant, so it's less likely to check it now. It's a much more difficult check to justify.
Exactly.
And yeah, it's only required in around about 4% of version 18 seeds. So it's very unlikely to be required, although it's looking much more likely in this one. It's very unlikely to be needed, and it's very, very far out of the way. Yeah, at this stage, like, the 2 things I think that really need to happen for Mike, and he's not out of it by any means yet, but the 2 things that really need to happen for Mike right now is that Flute actually is at the pedestal, and Misery Maya requires Bombos. I think those are the 2 things that Mike really needs. Either that or Misery Maya Big Key is literally the last chest that you would check. Because otherwise, you've got to imagine... Oops, Chris, again, not getting the hookshots. Twice in this run that he's not gotten the hookshot clips.
Yeah, this will be really interesting for Mike, because he's done so many half dungeons. Which one does he go back into first? Once he runs out of options.
So... if I was in his position right now, I'd be getting a little bit suspicious. I know you've left some stuff behind in dungeons, but I'd be getting a little bit suspicious at this point that the pedestal is actually hiding something big, because you're still missing 2 items. You've got no dungeons left to full clear because you've gone into pretty much everything. And yeah, I think he might be following the same sort of thing here. Be like, something is up with this. There's gotta be something to do in that pedestal, right? Oh, he got something stolen off him on the way past there.
As long as it's not a shield.
Yeah, the mirror shield can't get stolen by the pickets there, so... yeah, really good call Steph and Chris there as well. Nice use of the bomb burst instead, because he didn't have full magic, since... didn't pick up the half magic, and unless you have full magic in, for Fire Rod, you cannot actually break Cold Steph's shell. But Bomb Burst does it in 1 hit, and it takes only a quarter of your bar. So, and guess what? You get a quarter of your bar before going in there from the 2 pots that you have to pick up to get down there. So, it's like the game was designed well, Oh, nice for Mike there. Like, I do the dash from a little bit further over there, but that's a much nicer one to get it. Alright, so you reckon Chris is also... Yeah, Chris is also going to go this way. When it comes down to check independent dungeons, Chris is definitely going to favor this over Pod just because of the speed of it.
Yeah. Which, unfortunately, will be a disadvantage for Mike if it does happen to hold the flute.
Yeah,
because
if
that means that Christos will be in go mode.
If Skullwoods itself holds the flute, yeah, that's going to be a problem. If the pedestal holds the flute, though, then, well, Chris has to get Pod done, which probably won't take him as long because he'll know where the thing is, where it is. But even so, that is still time that he will have to spend that Mike does not.
So it looks like the big chest might have an item?
Yeah, it's looking like it. It's interesting that Mike chose to do that before, the chest in this one last area before doing Moth, though, because now you're going to menu back to the mirror just to get out the thing here. Usually I like to do Moth first and then come back in with the mirror equipped so I can get the chest,
here we go,
mirror out, and then mirror it here. Blind pull!
He's doing it!
Blind pull, here we go, get the flute. Come on. Come on.
Oh my god! It's a pedestal required scene!
It's actually there! Okay! This is still a game. There's still a chance. Now he's going to actually go back in there. He blind pull in order to get... Oh, man.
That is definitely a huge advantage at the moment. He's got to go back. He needs to go back to Swamp right now.
Save
to get
the duck.
Bombos.
Fly to freedom. That is one of the best lines I have seen off of the pedestal. Save the duck and fly to freedom. Oh man, that's amazing. Oops. Chris getting kind of caught up a little bit there on the tile room. My restream is having a little bit of issues here, so I can't actually see what Mike is doing at the moment. I'm pretty sure it's just activating the bird, so...
Yeah, my restream is doing the same thing.
Okay. Thank you. Bombos is in the big chest of Swamp Palace. Mike has the big key. He just needs to go back into the dungeon and grab the big chest. Doesn't have to go over to the left-hand side, which is where he really wants to skip.
I didn't get a chance to see what the medallion is for Misery Mire.
Yeah, I don't know if,
Please,
if it is.
Please be bombs. Oh, there's so many bombs.
Yeah.
Chest.
I mean, if it is Bombos, then the only problem is Mike going to go back there, or is he going to go Feast Town first?
Oh no, it's Quake!
Oh no. Right.
Oh, Mike's file name was Save the Quack?
Save the Quack. Excellent. Thank you, Fiesel.
Yep, I got it. Perfect!
Well, this means he's gonna do this dungeon. Then this is gonna have to be a full clear. So the other hope then is that the big key is really hard to find in this dungeon. Like, the chest next to the big chest is probably the best bet. Because if it's there, then that's usually the last place that players would look.
Yeah, it's... I don't know, with Turtle Rock being the last dungeon that he requires, at least, he doesn't have to make 2 trips up Death Mountain, but, eesh.
Yeah.
It's a fairly long dungeon to have to finish. When Misery Mire, depending upon where big key placement is, could be pretty quick in go mode.
Yeah, and Turtle Rock was relatively quick as well. Like, there was one key that you needed to find, but in general, Turtle Rock was not the slowest it can be, so that's reasonable, but it's still Turtle Rock. And that is something that obviously Chris has got over Mike here. Yeah, because Chris has done Skull Woods as well now, definitely. So it really is just Maya for Chris here. He hasn't got his own tracker quite properly. So I mean, okay, it's not that he hasn't got it properly marked; it's that he marks it not based on what the crystal pendant stuff is. He marks it based on what dungeons he's done. So on his tracker, he's only got Pod and Maya left to do, but we know on our side that Pod is not a crystal, it just is on his. So I got slightly confused. I think, wait, has he got 2 crystals left? No, he can't have.
So guys, if you haven't already, make sure you give these runners a follow. They're doing an excellent job here.
Oh,
they deserve our love, so give them your love. Shoot them a follow.
Apparently, Mike deserves Misery Maya's love too, given the piece of heart there. Oh, Chris is going for the hammer jump here. Interesting. So he'll know that there can't be a small key in here. But the big key can be, so...
The big key is the top left-hand chest of this room.
Oh, wow. So it actually worked out this time. He needs to get another small key before he can clear the dungeon, but that shouldn't be too difficult to do. Oh, every time, by the way. Misery Maya, big key chest, having the big key. Every time. Well, okay, it's either that or the one above it. There was a stretch where I had about 90 to 95% of my seats had in one of those 2 chests, so that kind of cemented, yeah, I am doing that route every time now. And, yeah. Oh.
I got it.
You got this. It's fine. Yeah, Christos at the moment is pretty much ahead, because Christos is in go mode. He just needs to get the pendant here so he can pull the duck out of the... Well, pull the duck caller out of the pedestal.
You know what's funny? It's because at the beginning we said nothing is set in stone except for whatever.
Yes!
So I just thought about that.
Oh, we cursed it right from the beginning.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
And people said I was the one who hexed this one.
Sorry, guys.
It is still going to be relatively close. It depends on where Chris goes first. Oh, not using silver arrows here. Interesting. I mean, this is still perfectly fine. It's just I expected the silvers to be used for the eyes as well. But hey, if you get a 0 cycle without it, then you just get that 0 cycle. So, yeah, if Chris doesn't do the regular, like, vanilla way to get to the big key immediately, then that'll buy Mike some time. But this is going to be really rough for Mike at this point. You've got to think that skip dungeon earlier is very, very painful. But you see, the problem is, like, oh, is he going to go back? Uh-oh. Hold the phone here. We might not be out yet.
And because he's got the big key, it'll be super quick for him to check this. So
yeah, and you know that's going to be the first thing he does when he gets in there. This is going to be close. It's definitely in Christos' favor, I feel, because Maya is inherently a shorter dungeon, especially because Todorok itself is not full go mode either.
And the amount of time that it takes to open swamp, get down there.
Yeah, it is going to take a bit. But This is not impossible yet.
Yeah. It could all come down to where the big key is in G Tower and who decides to go right side versus left side.
If the big key is in Rando Room, then I feel like Mike has an advantage there because Chris does what we have said is the Dark Magician strats, even though technically he came up with this, I think. But yeah, Chris does that as his place, so he will do left side up until the Stalfos room and then go right side. But if that ends up, like Rando Room ends up as where the big key is, then that's going to take him a long time to get. If he does his usual route. Yeah, as Willard is saying, aka the stupid route. Alright, so Chris is going to save his duck.
Christos getting his magic flute here.
This is one of the few items that I have been blessed with not having on the pedestal at the moment. I've seen it in somebody else's run, but this is one of the few that I have not had in my own playthroughs yet, is the flute on the pedestal. I've had most other things on there by now.
Oh, he's going Vamos! Guys,
there we go.
Go mode officially for Mike the
Ladies and gentlemen, we are in go mode for both players.
Yep.
This is hard to call at this point. You'd be thinking if Mike did not go there immediately, then it was going to be really, really difficult. But now, this is going to be very, very hard to call.
Yep, we've got Mike heading up to Turtle Rock as Christos will be immediately fluting his way over to Misery Mire, so...
Yeah, and he won't have to care what the medallion is because he has all of them. It's always fun.
And Christos is going to have to make the trek up Death Mountain, whereas Mike the V will already be in Dark World and on top of it, so... Yeah. That might save him a little bit of time. Is it going to be enough time, though, for them to both be entering Ganon's Tower at the exact same time? Is a better question.
Mike isn't going to have to... Oh, don't do that first. Yep, kill the bird first, because Quake does not affect the bird, so it will just keep flying over you in the cutscene, and it will damage you when you leave. Oh, I like it. It's a pedestral, because it's a kestrel that's on the pedestal. I like it.
10 out of 10 for Crunch Bang.
Yeah.
And Christos looking quick. Yeah. Quick work on those robes. They stood no chance.
Did cost him most of his magic though, so he's probably going to have to do... that's going to be in his favor, right? If he doesn't do the 4-torch tile room, because he doesn't have enough magic to do it unless he switches to the lamp. So he may just skip that room and then come back to it later. It says never because he won't have to.
Yeah, this is definitely exciting. Hold on to your seats, guys.
Yep, hold the phone. Because we know where pretty much all of the keys are in Turtle Rock, because, of course, Chris had to full clear it. Chris does not have a lot of health left at the moment either, but there is a fairy reserve still, if I remember rightly, so... Yeah, see, this is what I was thinking. Chris is going to do at least some of the other side here. And depends if he goes and gets the other chest as well. This could take him a little bit longer to get to the big key.
Yep. Oh, yeah, he's going to do it.
So yeah, like I said, some people do this because the torch rooms do take quite a while to resolve. So... I can understand this, but it never works out when I try and do it, so that's why I don't. I understand that this is probably the faster route on average, but it never works for me, so I just don't do it. So that is definitely a good time save for Mike. Now, the other one is Chris going to, he's switching to the lamp, so he is going to do this one as well. And the lamp is going to make him take a bit longer here.
Ooh, he might... Missed a few times, still has enough magic though.
Also, rip everybody's ears because Chris uses oh, there we go, full heal. Chris uses regular heartbeat speed, so I know that always draws a lot of ire from the chat. So yeah. So now, Mike, I think there was a small key in the big chest, so Mike is gonna have that. But now Chris has got to wait for this room. This takes a while. Mike will probably be getting close to being out of Tullarok, out of here and in towards the big chest by the time this is done.
I think that they're going to be very close going into Ganon's tower.
Yeah, there you go. Like I said, pretty close to being out.
Because
every time.
Now with what's remaining in both Misery Mire, I was concerned if Christos would have gone and gotten the big key right away, might have been a little bit of a problem, but because of the routing that he took, it's kind of evened it out again. So we could end up seeing both players enter G Tower at the exact same time, and that will be super exciting.
The nice thing about where that big key ended up, though, and I don't exactly know why they did it that way, but with the teleporters there, you can actually get straight to the end. I'm not sure why they did that, because you still got to go back and get King of Samaria before you can do that. But, just, again, another part of the design of the game is that there was, if you like, failsafe there. And, Mike, already getting one of the small keys than before, is going to be heading straight down. This might actually be in his favor now. Because he has the half magic too, which is going to make it a little bit easier for... Oh, don't lay bombs there, Chris. You're lagging the game. There was one of the little tadpole thingies going on the screen as well there. So when he put the second bomb down, he actually lagged the game a little bit. Alright, so what strats are we going to see for Viddy here? Are we just going to see, the vanilla spin stuff? This is really nice if you can get enough of them in the shot. But then if you end up leaving the one stray one over there, it gets kind of...
Yeah.
Very nice for Mike.
Yeah, and Mike's going to be...
It's going to be close! But I think, Mike actually is very slightly in the lead now, just based on the position in the overworld.
Yeah. Definitely. Ooh, be careful. That fairy animation is definitely something you don't want to be playing with right now.
Yeah, it does take a long time. Now this is interesting because, I think it is actually slightly quicker because of not killing Aghanim before, just to save quit there and get up to the mountain here, because this is where you'd be fluting to.
Yep.
So, using the fact if you have not killed Aghanim, so the randomizer does not force you to save, to restart in the light world. It's those little bits of time save that can really add up. But Chris has still got his work cut out here, because now he's going to have to go up to Death Mountain, as you were saying, do the climb stuff. But you can see Mike is already there. This has turned around really quickly. Because Chris has still got to get past a couple of deadlocks here and get into the Dark World.
Alright guys, get those guesses in. Where do you think the big key will be?
And this was all saved by our cursed call at the beginning here. Well, technically your cursed call, but we'll both go with it, because apparently I cursed his one. So...
Hashtag blame Sakura.
Oh, TG won't be happy about that one.
Alright, not chest number 1. Or 2. Got some G-Tower love here.
Right, so 1 hour 37:27 for Mike is what the chat's saying with that. So we're looking at about a 45-second lead here. Maybe slightly more. Not insurmountable, but that's definitely not what we were expecting. And all of this, as I was saying, was saved by the fact that Flute was in pedestal. That even though Chris didn't have to do all of Palestine, that forced him to go in the first place. It forced him to do more, to give Mike more of a chance to go back to where he needed to go. And kudos to Mike for having the insight to go there first as the main place.
It's funny how Mike didn't even check the pedestal, just pulled it, and would you know that it was
at that stage I would as well. I mean, I did say it, I'd be getting suspicious of this seed at that point. I probably would have done Skull Woods before Palace of Darkness for that reason, that I was getting suspicious the seed might be leading towards the pedestal. But even at that, like, that's, you know, Mike was still looking for Bomber, so he probably still would have full cleared pod anyway. I mean, all of this is as close as it is because of that one decision to leave the chests behind in Swamp Palace.
Yep.
But yeah, chat was saying it's a 45-second difference entering GT. And with Chris actually taking the standard route here as well, you've got to think that is going to be fairly difficult to make up here. A little bit of trouble on the chest there.
Yeah, it might all come down to execution.
And there it is!
And there it is!
I said it was going to be the random route. There we go!
Alright, Mike has the big key and the small key required to head up the middle. Christos not far behind.
Yeah, so you could say that, sure, in retrospect. It's like, oh, hindsight is all perfect with stuff that way. But yeah, it's always interesting comparing what you would do to what some of the other players would do. There's a lot of things in this run that these guys have done much, much better in terms of the routing than I would do. So, you know, like Chris going to Zora, immediately getting Tempered Sword, like right up. That was not something I would have even considered. So, you know.
Well, for Christos, its key number was that 9? No.
That was the last chest that he opened in. So.
Yeah. So yeah, this could come down to a Ganon fight, one fall on Moldorm. Anything like that could change it completely. It's all going to come down to execution.
And with both of these players being as good as they are, you've got to... Oh, wow, I say that as Chris is having a little bit of trouble with this. But with both players being as good as they are, you've got to imagine that the Ganon fight is going to be very quick.
Yeah, they both have Tempered Sword. Neither of them are going to be checking any extra chests here. They're just going to be grabbing basically what they need.
Yep, there's no danger of running out of arrows because Silver's... Also, speaking of Silver's, fantastic kill there from Mike.
Having some excellent execution here is definitely working in his favor.
Just both of these guys are absolutely monstrous here. This is the sort of seed that would take most players at least 2 hours to do. Just with some of the placements here, I mean, this is a pedestal seed. Granted, it's not an Aga seed as well, so that's kind of fortunate. But with this being a pedestal seed and some of the other kind of annoying places to go, like the Swamp Palace thing is still rather painful because you've got a, you know, big key is in the second half, so you do have to come back through the dungeon in order to get the big chest. That's kind of annoying.
That was a nice... Oh boy, what that was nice for Christos.
Oh, just missed
no.
it for 1-8. You missed a second shot, so yeah. Oh no. Okay, there we go. If that would have been a quick dive in, that would have been really annoying.
I think Mike just tried to, yeah, looks like we're gonna be going into the Moldorm fight here. So 2 hits, or 2, yeah.
Yeah, 1 slash, 1 spin. That's what you want with Tempered Sword.
There we go.
2 spins, but you know.
Alright, time to see. Will he check the validation chest?
Not a chance.
Nope.
Not a chance.
We'll never know, guys.
I mean, Chris might check it. Because I think he checked it in the first run. But there's nothing that needs. Like, you've already got Red Mail, you've got Half Magic, you've got the Silver Arrows. The only thing that could be there would be Gold Sword, and even that isn't going to be enough to change how many phases these guys take, so...
And no blue ball Aghanim fight.
No, that's reserved for the new logic. Okay,
Very
decent
nice.
fight.
Yep.
No, Mike has half magic. Chris does not. But yeah, Mike actually got half magic from Agina's cave, which for whatever reason Chris actually didn't check, so...
Figured that probably his last seed gave him
Oh, Chris, yeah, Chris is not taking any chances with this either, and I don't blame him. Yeah, Mike actually does have a blue potion, because he specifically bought one when he checked the mushroom spot, so...
I think that Christos has a green one, though.
Yeah, Chris should have the green one from Sasha, but then also Mike will have that too. I don't think magic is really the issue here, it's more just the health, because neither of them got the chance to pick the refill up. No powder in this seed, so... It's really the health aspect, and you've got to be careful with that. You do not want that fairy animation to come up right now. This should be over for Mike at this point. There's no teleports or anything else here to try and mess anything up, so you've got to think this is over, as Chris does defeat Aga too there. Dashing all over the place now.
Alright, so here we go. This is the final phase here. One hit in for Mike the V. Torch glitch got...
With the fire rod, no less.
Ooh, 3. One more hit.
And there we go.
And that's it. That's it. GG. We have a game 3, guys. Mike the V finishes with the first place time, 1 hour, 45 minutes, and 36 seconds. Christos not far behind. This was a race, guys.
Unbelievable. When you see that one item that was left behind, and I think this is the first time in the tournament that I've seen an item left behind in a dungeon that has not actually cost a race. I'm pretty sure there have been other cases, but I haven't been able to watch every race, of course. But this is the first time I have seen something that serious being left in a dungeon, and it has not actually cost the person who left it there the race. Fantastic.
Yeah, this is... It's just astounding how close this came down to at the end here. All because of the pedestal.
Yeah, take that, wall.
So Christos also finishing with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 46 minutes, and 44 seconds. So just over a minute difference.
Fantastic. And yeah, a really good Ganon fight there too. There was very little time difference from GT there. Chat was saying it's about 45 seconds when they got in, and it was about a minute at Ganon. So very, very little loss there at all. Absolutely fantastic to see. So Chris will hop in a couple of minutes. Mike pretty much won't, because Mike does not. We don't get the robots to talk, so... Yeah, absolutely phenomenal run. This is a pedestal seed that had some rather annoying item placements that was finished by both players in like an hour 45, so the time, just over. Absolutely crazy good.
Yeah, that was definitely an amazing race. Absolutely. And you wouldn't know it, but at the very beginning, the amount of items that they got was just pitiful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was a very tough start to this seed, which is a far cry from what you usually see in these things. Seeing Mike saying in the SR chat here is like, dude, that my file names were Save That Duck, and he saved that duck, man. He really saved that duck. That's fantastic.
So guys, if you haven't already, make sure to give these runners a follow. They definitely deserve it. Such an amazing group of racers here.
Absolutely. There's just no words to describe how amazing the play in the tournament is at this stage.
Yeah,
I mean, you would obviously expect that in the top 8, but that doesn't change the fact of it's just awe-inspiring seeing some of the routes here. I mean, especially when it comes to the end game execution on GT. It's
honestly, Mike going back for that Bombos in Swamp Palace was, woo! I couldn't believe it. That one, he needed to make that one move, and that's exactly what he did.
Hey Chris, how you doing?
Yeah, good. Sad I lost, obviously, but worthy opponent, so goes to the side in a 3, so it's not over yet.
Yeah, game 3. That's coming up, what is it, tomorrow?
Yeah, tomorrow 3 p.m. EDT.
Nice.
What a seed.
Yeah, what did you think? What did you think about the item placement at the very beginning of the game?
I can't even remember that far back, to be honest.
By the time you left Kakariko, you had the mirror shield, and I think that was it. You had the knowledge that the hammer was in the library, but besides the shovel, which eventually led you to Titansmith, there was nothing. Literally nothing.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, I was expecting boots much earlier than I found them, because where I saw hammer. So I was starting to panic that I'd missed them somewhere when I had been walking around for about 30 minutes without the boots.
Yeah.
And I did some really weird, I'm going to say weird instead of poor routing decisions. And honestly, having the flute and the pedestal nearly saved me from some of my errors. But unfortunately, it wasn't quite enough. But I'm, not very happy with how I played today.
Oh.
Yeah, it actually was interesting because we had no idea that flute was on pedestal. You guys were both in Skull Woods at the same time.
Wow.
So Mike the V blind pulled it because he had already cleared pod. And that's when we had found out that the flute was there. So
oh wow. So had he done everything except for the pedestal?
The key difference is he didn't do the left side of Swamp Palace and also not the big chest. So it was looking really grim for quite a while because he'd missed Bombos. And so if it wasn't for the flute being at the pedestal, actually, you're saying it saved you from some of your mistakes. I think the way this ended up playing out, it actually ended up costing you that it was there, because that gave Mike enough time to go back afterwards and check, right, this is where I missed something. And, it got to the point where I think there were 2 other dungeons, wasn't it? Thieves Town and Tower of Hera that there was an item left in? One in each. For me, anyway.
I think Thieves Town had either the map or compass in the big chest, if I'm not mistaken.
No, I went back in to check, so I already had the map and compass, so I don't know.
Yeah, I saw that as well, but there was no way that you could have gotten it first time through because boots were there, hammer was at boot locked, so you couldn't have got that item first way through. Kind of
when I got the boots, I did contemplate leaving to go get the hammer, but I just thought it's just not worth it.
You're so far in at that point, aren't you? Because
exactly.
You'd have to go all the way around again anyway, so you're basically clearing the dungeon twice anyhow. But yeah, it was effectively those 2 places, and then Swamp Palace were all that was left for Mike. And yeah, as it turned out, if it wasn't for the flute being there, this could have been a very different playthrough. But that's unfortunately how it goes.
The fact that Mike had searched all of pod and everything else except for these 2 locations, and then arrived at Skullwoods at the same time as me, goes to show how much better he kind of routed and played than me today. Like he did much
it was
more
a gamble.
In the same time.
Well, no, honestly, when you guys were pulling out the flute, he still didn't have Bombos.
Yeah, I suppose so, yeah.
And the only reason why that turned out is because he immediately fluted back to Swamp to start checking chests he had already done dungeons for.
Wow, okay.
So it was just the first place he went to after, and there was a lot more that could have. So it was just, it was just lucky.
And well, as for the rooting stuff, for the first, I want to say 35-40 minutes or so, you two are basically exactly the same. The only real difference is that you did Zora way earlier, whereas Mike did Hobo and checked Sahashala's hut. So there was a very slight difference there, but you were doing exactly the same things at exactly the same time. So
Right.
it was, you're just very slightly ahead just because of the slight differences of what you checked. But for a long time, you two were doing the very same things. So yeah, it was. As much as you guys said you played totally about this stuff, both of you, same decisions. Something definitely worked within that, that's for sure.
Yeah, I was happy with my early game. That went well. I was really happy when Zora gave me Tempered.
Yeah, I was... That is one play I definitely would not have made myself during this. Because,
Well, I had enough repeats for it, and we'd already got the myths, so that was technically fine to check in terms of the logic.
I suppose so, yeah.
So I was like, well, I can see what's on the ledge, even though I forgot and had to go back later and double check.
Yeah, I did notice that, yeah.
I don't know if I forgot or if I just didn't check the first time through.
Yeah, you had about 1 pixel or something of it, or one vertical pixels out of it online. I'm pretty sure it was just a green rupee that was on there, right?
Yeah, it was a rupee. Yeah. I think it was a red, but I don't know. But a big time thing for me was going, like, my trip up to Death Mountain, where I did Herald and T-Rock. That was a pretty big time sink. But then I guess Mike must have done the same.
No, Mike couldn't get into Turtle Rock until the very end because it was locked by bombos. So you were doing Maya as he was doing Turtle Rock. So it ended up, like, the biggest sort of time difference. The chat was saying it was about 45 seconds when you entered GT, like, that you were behind by. And I think most of that was, well, I mean, Mike had already gotten up to Turtle Rock slightly earlier, but most of that was just because you had to get up the mountain again afterwards,
Yeah. Oh wow, so it actually turned out to be pretty close. I see what you mean now about bombos being... So if he had found that earlier, maybe he would have hit T-Rock and wasted some time.
Yeah, like that's possible. It's always hard to say, isn't it? Because he did go up to get the mushroom, so...
That was why I went to the mountain. I saw the mushroom. If I didn't see the mushroom, I would have gone back up and done everything then. But I was like, well, I reckon the mushroom's going to be important. And it had, like, a heart container.
It's always annoying when that happens.
Never mind. Never found the powder, though. So who knows what that was.
Neither of you found the powder.
Could be in validation chest because we never saw what was in there.
Did Mike not check it? Yeah.
No,
both of
we
you
have
just
no
walked straight
idea
past
what's
it.
in there.
I was fighting fighting Moldorm too, and he hadn't done yet. So I was thinking, this has got to be close because I knew I hadn't played great, and then where Flute was, I was like, he must be close to me. So I was like, I'm gonna play as best I can. Not gonna waste any time.
Yep.
A few errors in. I don't think I could have won though. I don't think my execution in Cannon's Tower was bad enough that I threw away like the 50 seconds that I lost by. So
no, it was about 15 seconds difference or something by the time from GT entrance to Ganon kill, from what I'm seeing at the time. So there wasn't a whole lot in it in GT.
Yeah. Okay. Never mind. I'm looking forward to watching this back.
Yeah, this, like I was saying, with you doing the same stuff for a lot of the early game, it's really, really awesome to see. Like, it's because there's so many different decisions that you could make when you've got Mitts and Moonpearl just as one thing. It's really interesting seeing how much of the same stuff you did near the beginning, and how many times you showed me up by not doing the stuff I expected you to do. Like Skulllands, I thought you were going to do a bit earlier than because you usually do, so I was thinking that you were going up for that. Oh no, you're going Feast down, okay.
Yeah, I was contemplating it, and if I had, then, well, where was the book actually? The book was... Where was the book?
The book was at a boss. Armos? Question mark?
Argus.
No, it was
Argus.
Argus.
Argus,
Yeah.
there we go.
Oh wow, okay. Yeah, if I'd had the book, then I probably would have checked Skullwards. Or if it was a crystal, I probably would have checked it.
Yeah, because it was nice where the book ended up being, because you could just mirror to the Bombers tablet straight away. So.
Yeah, that was nice. Although in hindsight, I guess it shouldn't matter whether Skullwards is a crystal or a pendant, because if it's a crystal,
I've seen you check it.
would
I've
do the
seen you
same.
check it in most of the races, so that's what was surprising me a little bit with it when you could do it, because I've seen you go there most of the time. So, actually, did you just forget about a Guinness Cave when you left Desert? Actually, or was that a conscious decision?
No, I was meant to check it. I was thinking while I was waiting for the boss to die and stuff, I was like, right, I'll do Agana, now then I'll go to the mountain and do Mushroom.
Right.
And I was like, oh, I can't flute there. Oh, I'm going to have to save and quit to the mountain cave. And then I just did that and I was like, oh no, I haven't checked Agana's cave.
It had half magic, so it would have been useful, but not essential.
Okay.
But yeah,
then-
Mike actually got that.
Yeah. On the flip side, I was thinking Agana's cave was important in the last race. It's so
Yes, it
unlikely
was.
that it would be required again. So,
I totally didn't curse you guys to get a pedestal seed, by the way. I take no responsibility of this.
It
I'm not
was-
sure I believe you.
There was a line.
pun. I made a bad pun at the beginning that had to do with the pedestal, and so
There was a line at the start that was saying the only item that's set in stone is the pedestal item, because obviously it's in the stone thing, and it ended up being important. I find it funny, as what Mike was saying in the race chat there, that his file names were literally "Save That Duck." And
Wow.
it was just the prophecy coming true here, for sure.
Somebody VAC this guy. No, just kidding. Well deserved win for Mike.
Yeah.
That was actually my first ever pedestal seed. I've never had one before.
Oh, wow.
So I was really surprised when I read the thing. I was just staring at it like, no way!
I think my pedestal seed count is like double figures by now. So you
Wow,
know.
really?
Yeah, I've had a lot of different things there. Usually the ice rod is the one that goes there, but yeah, just before the tournament started, I think I had the lamp there as one, which is what forced me to learn dark rooms, because I am not getting the pendants to get this stupid lamp. I can do the dark rooms now, you know.
Yeah, that's a harsh item to do there.
So yeah, I've had quite a lot, and we've seen quite a few in the tournament. So you know,
Yeah,
it had to happen again at some point, and
true. Hopefully we don't get another one.
yes,
As
hopefully
players.
not. Yeah. Well,
Anyway, yeah, I'll leave it there for me. Thank you
Yeah.
guys for commentating.
that's all right. I hope you enjoy this watching back, and best of luck tomorrow.
Thank you very much. Cool. See you later.
Bye bye. Alright, so, do we have another match coming up today?
I don't believe so. Yeah, I don't believe that there is another match coming up today. I could be incorrect. I know there was talk about one, but
I think there's Evil Ash and Pika Pals, is it, that has one? And Willard is going Thinking Face as the Willard OK Guy grudge match going on tonight then?
on the schedule, it looks like there's a Pokemon Red tournament on Speed Gaming 1, a Link to the Past match actually at 9 p.m.
Yeah.
on Speed Gaming 1, and a Majora's Mask race here on Speed Gaming 2 from 9 o'clock as well.
Evil Ash is like, suddenly Nick flashes everywhere because everyone is now saying his name because of the scheduled race. So, yeah, alright, so we do have one coming up tonight. Yeah, hopefully that'll be just as exciting. I might not actually be awake at that time because that's like 2 a.m. for me, so I might not be able to see that one myself, but I'm sure I'll watch it over afterwards as well. So yeah, any other comments you want to make on this one?
No, it's been a wonderful race to commentate. I have been so hyped to get a pedestal required seed thing to commentate, so I'm super excited. Not gonna lie, this is probably one of my favorite matches to commentate. How close it was absolutely insane.
Yeah, that comeback was only someone like Mike could pull a comeback against Chris in that sense. Let's just put it that way. But yeah, I don't really have anything else to add myself, so I guess that'll be it for us then. Thank you very much for watching, guys. Hopefully you have enjoyed yourselves. And yeah, until next time, when, well, we might get another one to commentate at some stage. Who knows? Depends when they line up.
See you guys shortly.
All right. Bye-bye.